If you're watching this, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, drop where you're watching from in the comments, and buckle up. Because this story, yeah, this one hits different. It starts at 3:12 a.m., that kind of hour where your phone ringing doesn't mean anything good. And deep down, you already know. My phone lit up on the nightstand. David, my son, my only child. I answered before it could even ring a second time. "Mom." His voice came out strained, like he was fighting to breathe. Something wasn't right. I I don't feel good. My chest. Then silence. "David? David!" The line went dead. And just like that, my whole world cracked open. By the time I got to the hospital, my hands were shaking so bad I couldn't even sign my name properly. A nurse gave me that look. You know the one. The one where they already know and they're just waiting for you to catch up. A doctor came out, all calm, all professional. Too calm. "I'm sorry. We did everything we could." That's it. That's all it takes. One sentence, and suddenly your life has a before and after. My 45-year-old son, gone. Just like that. Stephanie was standing there, my daughter-in-law, dressed perfectly, hair in place, not a wrinkle, not a tear out of line. At first I thought she was in shock, but then I looked closer and something felt off. Not grief, not heartbreak, something colder, like relief. I told myself I was imagining it. I had to be, because no one reacts like that when their husband just died, right? "What happens now?" I whispered. My voice didn't even sound like mine. Stephanie straightened up, like she was snapping into a roll. "Now?" she said. "Now we deal with reality." Reality. The word hit like ice water. David hadn't even been gone an hour, and she was already moving on. The next few days were a blur. Funeral planning, phone calls, flowers, paperwork. I offered to help pay. Of course I did. That was my son. But she shut it down real quick. "I got it," she said. "I'm his wife." Something about the way she said it, like she was drawing a line, like I wasn't part of that anymore. The night before the funeral, I went into David's old room, the one he grew up in. Only now it didn't feel like his anymore. I looked around. Photos everywhere. But something was missing. Took me a second to realize what it was. Me. There wasn't a single recent photo of me and my son. Not one. Like I'd been erased. Slowly. Quietly. Over time. And I never even noticed. "Eleanor." I turned. Stephanie was standing in the doorway, watching me. Not grieving, not soft, just calculating. "We need to talk." "The funeral?" "Yeah, it was beautiful. Perfect, actually. Too perfect. Like something out of a magazine. Soft music, white flowers, polite smiles. Stephanie played her role like she was born for it, the grieving widow. But I caught things, little things. The way she smiled when people mentioned insurance, the way she leaned in when money came up. And then I overheard her, talking to her sister behind the flower arrangements. "The insurance payout alone is going to cover everything," she whispered. "And without extra expenses, I'll be more than fine." Extra expenses? My heart dropped. "What about Eleanor?" her sister asked. Stephanie laughed. I swear to God, she laughed. "That's not my problem anymore." I felt something inside me break. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like glass cracking under pressure. Later, she pulled me into the kitchen, closed the door, turned to face me. And just like that, the mask took off. "I'm going to be straight with you," she said. "This house is mine now." I blanked. "I just need space, privacy, time to process. "Of course," I said softly. "I understand that, but you need to leave." Just like that. No hesitation, no emotion, no humanity. "I'll give you until tomorrow." Tomorrow. After I buried my son. That's how much time I had. I packed my life into 4 suitcases. 67 years, reduced to luggage. I kept waiting for her to come upstairs, to say she didn't mean it, that grief made her say crazy things. But she never came. At exactly 6 p.m., she showed up at my door, arms crossed. Time's up. We didn't speak while loading the car. Trip after trip. Silence. Cold. Final. When it was done, I turned to her. "Did I do something wrong?" I asked. "I wish I knew so I could fix it." She looked me dead in the eyes. "You did nothing wrong. Pause. You just exist, and that's the problem." That one? Yeah, that one stayed with me. I drove away with nowhere to go. Ended up at a cheap hotel off Route 9, the kind that smells like bleach and broken dreams. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at myself in the mirror, and for the first time in my life, I didn't recognize the woman looking back. No husband, no son, no home, nothing. But then something weird happened, something I didn't expect. Under all that pain, something started building. Not sadness, not fear, something sharper, like a feeling that this wasn't over, not even close. Because here's the thing Stephanie didn't know. My son? He wasn't blind. He saw everything. And David? He wasn't the kind of man who left things unfinished. And then, 2 weeks later, my phone rang. A lawyer. "Mrs. Carter, your son left something for you." And just like that, everything changed. And trust me, that was only the beginning. Because what was waiting for me was something Stephanie never saw coming. Not in a million years. If you made it this far, don't go anywhere. Because what happened next? Yeah, this is where everything flips. The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old paper, the kind of place where lives get rewritten in silence. I walked in 15 minutes early. Didn't want to be late. Didn't want to miss anything. Didn't want to lose whatever little piece of my son might still be waiting for me. And then she walked in. Stephanie. Designer black dress, perfect makeup, not a single tear in sight, like she was showing up to a business meeting, not her husband's will reading. She saw me and froze for half a second. Then that look came back, the one I knew too well now. Annoyance. "What are you doing here?" she snapped. The receptionist cleared her throat. "She's listed in the will." And just like that, the air shifted. We sat across from each other. No words, just tension. Thick, heavy, like something was about to break. The lawyer walked in. "Let's begin." He started reading. "House, Stephanie. Cars, Stephanie. Savings, Stephanie. Retirement, Stephanie." She started relaxing, even smirked at one point, like she'd already won, like this was just a formality. And then the lawyer paused, looked down, cleared his throat. "There is one final provision." Stephanie leaned forward. I felt my heart start pounding. "This addition was made 3 months ago." 3 months. That stuck with me. That meant this was intentional, planned. "To my mother." My breath caught. "To my mother who gave me everything when she had nothing left." Stephanie's smile dropped. "I leave the contents of my private safety deposit box, along with all associated accounts and documents." Silence. Dead silence. "What safety deposit box?" Stephanie snapped. The lawyer shrugged slightly. Your husband kept it private. Private. That word hit her hard, because for the first time, she realized something. David had secrets, and they weren't for her. She stood up fast. This is ridiculous. Whatever's in there belongs to the estate. The lawyer didn't even flinch. No, it belongs to his mother. The way she looked at me, like I'd just stolen something, like I didn't deserve it, like I was in her way, again. Outside, she cornered me. "We'll go to the bank together," she said, forcing a smile. "No," I said, calmly. Her jaw tightened. "You think you can just walk away with whatever he hid?" I leaned in slightly. I think David knew exactly what he was doing. 3 days later, I stood in that bank vault. Cold, quiet, heavy door closing behind me. The kind of silence that makes your heartbeat sound loud. They handed me the box. It was heavier than I expected. That alone told me this wasn't just memories. I sat down, took a breath, opened it. Right on top, a letter. My name, in David's handwriting, and suddenly my hands started shaking. Mom. That's all it took. I broke. Right there, in that tiny room. If you're reading this, it means I couldn't protect you the way I wanted to. Tears hit the paper. I've seen everything, Mom, for years. The way she talks about you, the way she treats you, the lies. My chest tightened. I tried to believe it would change. It didn't. And then, the line that changed everything. The $40,000 you gave us? I didn't forget. I froze. I invested it, carefully, quietly, for you. I dropped the letter. My heart was racing now. I started going through the documents, accounts, statements, numbers, big numbers, too big. $185,000. I checked again. $185,000. My breath caught. 5 years he'd been building that, for me, protecting me, planning for a day he must have known would come. But that wasn't all, not even close. There was a folder labeled Documentation. I opened it, and that's when the truth hit me like a freight train. Text messages, emails, screenshots, years of them. Stephanie talking, laughing, complaining, planning. I can't wait till she's out of the house. She's such a burden. David's too soft to deal with her. Once he's gone, I'm fixing everything. Once he's gone, that's when I understood. David didn't just prepare money. He prepared truth, proof, protection, for me. By the time I left that bank, I wasn't the same woman who walked in, not even close. When Stephanie called, I answered, sweet as ever. "Come over," she said. "Let's talk." Oh, I was ready to talk. Her house looked the same, perfect, spotless, like nothing ever happened, like my son never existed there. She greeted me with a fake smile. "I made lunch." Of course she did. Now she remembered how to be kind. We sat down. She didn't wait long. "So, what was in the box?" Straight to it. No shame. I took a sip of tea. "Interesting things." Her eyes narrowed. "What kind of things?" I leaned back. "Truth." She laughed nervously. "I'm serious." "So am I." I pulled out my phone, showed her one message. Her message. Her words. The color drained from her face. "There's more," I said calmly. "Way more." She snapped. "He had no right." He had every right. Silence. I placed the folder on the table. "This is who you really are." For the first time, she didn't have a response. No manipulation, no control. Then she whispered, "How much?" There it was. Not guilt, not regret. Money. I turned the screen toward her. $185,000. She looked like she might pass out. That should be mine." "No," I said quietly. "It never was." And then she broke, completely. Tears, shaking, panic. "I can't lose everything." I stood up, looked at her, really looked, and for the first time, I felt nothing. No anger, no pain, just clarity. "You didn't lose everything," I said. "You lost what was never yours." I walked to the door, paused, and said the only thing that mattered. "My son saw you, and he chose me." And just like that, I walked out. Not homeless, not broken, not forgotten. Free. Because sometimes karma doesn't scream. It doesn't chase. It doesn't fight. Sometimes it just waits. Quietly. Patiently. And when it finally shows up, it doesn't knock. It walks in, opens the truth, and leaves everything exactly where it belongs. If you made it all the way to the end, drop karma in the comments and tell me, what would you have done?